Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to It Came Out the Refrigerator. I am your narrator, Waking 314, and today we're going to continue with our series called Take Me As I Am. Today I have a short story called Thank You, Ma'am by Mr. Langston Hughes, and hopefully I won't go over the time limit. It is kind of a longer short story, but it's a good one, and it's about taking people as you find them. So hopefully we'll be able to get into this and we won't have to cut it down. So with that being said, let's get started. She was a large woman with a large purse that had everything in it but a hammer and nails. It had a long strap and she carried it slung across her shoulder. It was about 11 o'clock at night and she was walking along when a boy ran up behind her and tried to snatch her purse. The strap broke with the single tug the boy gave it from behind. But the boy's weight and the weight of the purse combined to make him lose his balance, and instead of running full blast as he hoped, the boy fell on his back on the sidewalk, and his legs flew up. The woman simply turned around and kicked him square in the blue jeans, in the booty, and then she reached down, picked the boy up by his front shirt, and shook him till his teeth rattled. After the woman said, "Pick up my pocketbook, boy, and give it here," she still held him, but she bent down enough to permit him to stoop and pick up her purse. "Now," she said, "now ain't that you ashamed of yourself?" Firmly gripped by his front shirt, the boy said, "Yes, ma'am." The woman said, "What did you do that for?" The boy said, "I didn't aim to." And the woman said, "You lied." By the time two or three people passed, stopped, turned to look, and someone stood watching. "If I turn you loose, will you run?" asked the woman. "Yes'm," said the boy. "Then I won't turn you loose," said the woman. She did not release him. "I'm very sorry, lady. I'm sorry," whispered the boy. "Uh-huh. Your face is dirty, and I got a great mind to wash your face for you. And you got nobody to go home to tell you to wash your face?" "No, ma'am," said the boy. "Then it will get washed this evening," and said the large woman, starting up the street, dragging the frightened boy behind her. He looked as if he was 14 or 15, frail, willow wild, in tennis shoes and blue jeans. The woman said, "You ought to be my son. I would teach you right from wrong. The least I can do right now is wash your face. Are you hungry?" "No, ma'am," said being dragged boy. "I just want you to turn me loose." "Was I bothering you when I turned the corner?" asked the woman. "No, ma'am. But when you put yourself in contact with me," said the woman. "If you think that contact is not going to last a while, you got another thing coming. When I get through with you, sir, you're going to remember Miss Luella Bates Washington Jones." Sweat popped out the boy's face and he began to struggle. Miss Jones stopped, jerked him around in front of her, and put a half nestle around his neck, and continued to drag him up the street. When she got to the door, she dragged the boy inside, down the hall into a large kitchenette, finished room at the end of the house. She switched on the light and left the door open. The boy could hear other roommates laughing and talking in the large house. Some of the doors were open, too, so he knew the women were not alone. The boy still had him by the neck in the middle of the room. "What's your name?" "Roger," answered the boy. "Then, Roger, go to that sink and wash your face." Whereupon she turned him loose. At last, Roger looked at the door, looked at the woman, looked at the door, and went to the sink. "Let the water run till it gets warmer," she said. "Here's a clean towel." "You gonna take me to jail?" asked the boy, bending over the sink. "Not with that face. I would not take you nowhere," said the woman. "Here I am trying to get home to cook me a bite to eat, and you snatch my pocketbook. Maybe you ain't been to your supper late. Maybe you haven't been to your supper either, late as it has be, have you?" "There's nobody at my house," said the boy. "Then we'll eat," said the woman. "I believe you're hungry or been hungry to try to snatch my pocketbook." "I just wanted a pair of blue suede shoes," said the boy. "Well, you didn't have to snatch my pocketbook to get some blue suede shoes," said Miss Luella Bates Washington Jones. "You could have just asked me." "Ma'am?" The water dripping from his face, the boy looked at her. There was a long pause, a very long pause, and after he dried his face, not knowing what else to do, he dried it again. The boy turned around, wondering what's next. The door was open. He could make a dash for it down the hall. He could run, 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 run. The woman was sitting on the daybed, and she said, "I was young once, and I wanted things I could not get." There was another long pause, the boy's mouth open. Then he frowned, not knowing he frowned. The woman said, "Uh-huh. You started going to say, but didn't you?" You thought I was going to say, but I didn't snatch people's pocketbook. Well, I wasn't going to say that. Pause. I have done things, too, which I would not tell you, son. Neither tell God, if he didn't already know. So you sit down while I fix us something to eat. You might run that comb through your hair so you'll look presentable. In another corner of the room, behind the screen, was a gas plate and an icebox. Miss Jones got up and went down the screen. The woman did not watch the boy to see if he was going to run now, nor did she watch her purse, which she left behind on the daybed. But the boy took care to sit far on the side of the room where he could easily be seen, and she could see him out of the corner of her eye, if she wanted to. He did not trust a woman not to trust him, and he did not want to be mistrusted now. Do you need somebody to go to the store? Asked the boy. Maybe get some milk or something? I don't believe I do, said the woman. Unless you just want sweet milk yourself, I was going to make cocoa out of this canned milk I got here. That will be fine, said the boy. She heated up some lima beans and some ham she had in the ice box and made cocoa and set the table. The woman did not ask the boy about where he lived or his folks or anything that would embarrass him. Instead, as they ate, she told him about her job at the hotel beauty shop that stayed open late, what was work like, and how all the kind of women came in and out, blondes, redheads, Spanish. Then she cut him a half a piece of 10-cent cake. Eat more, son, she said. When they were finished eating, she got up and said, now, here, take this $10 and go buy yourself some blue suede shoes. And next time, do not make the mistake of latching onto my pocketbook nor anybody else's, because shoes come by devils like that will burn your feet. I got to get my rest now, but I wish you'd behave yourself now, son, from here on. She led him down the hall to the front door and opened it. Good night and behave yourself, boy. And she looked out onto the street. The boy wanted to say something else other than thank you, ma'am, to Mr. Willoughby's Washington Jones, but he couldn't do as he turned out to the empty barren stoop and looked back at the large woman at the door. He managed to say thank you before she shut the door, and he never saw her again. I love this story, and I'm going to link it to the description below because it talks about how you just take people as they are. She knew the boy was wrong, but she also knew that she could take him as he is. She didn't try to embarrass him. She didn't try to shame him. What she tried to do is help him understand that sometimes you don't have to do bad things to get things. Sometimes you can just talk to people. And sometimes when people are out there doing things that they shouldn't, sometimes you can just take them as they are and help them understand. I just think it's a beautiful story. Today's snack, we're going to stay with Grandma's cookies, is an oatmeal raisin cookie. I find this cookie absolutely delicious, and it goes great with coffee or tea, but usually I prefer this cookie with tea. So if you get a chance to get you some Grandma's cookies, they usually come two in a pack, which is kind of awesome. But if you get a chance to get you some Grandma's cookies, they're soft, they're a little bit crumbly, they go good with coffee, tea, or even milk. You can sit back, relax, and have you one. And I hope somebody takes you exactly as you are and appreciates you for what you are. With that being said, please be safe, continue to be blessed, and remember, all are welcome here. Thank you.